once again to your favorite preschool Bible lessons. At least, I hope we're your favorite.
It's a new year, and with the new year comes new Bible stories and even a new series. Today we're talking about a new series all about praying to God.
Now, you might be thinking, I've heard of prayer, but I just don't know how to do it. Well, I have good news. Our series is called How to Pray. We're going to learn what it means to pray, how we do it, and what happens when we do.
Prayer is a conversation with God. We get to talk to Him the same way we talk to a friend or our family. You don't have to have the right words, and you don't have to say the perfect things. You just talk about everything and anything.
It's easy to talk to God today, but in the past, it was a lot harder to talk to God, and not everyone could do it. Let's listen to this story of people who had to do a lot to be able to pray to God.
In the book of Exodus, God's people built the first ever temple to be able to hear God and pray to Him. It all started when God asked Moses to build him a sanctuary where God could dwell among His people. God desired to be with His children that He loved so much. So that's exactly what Moses and the people did. God gave them very detailed instructions for exactly what this sanctuary should look like, and the people made it happen. And let me tell you, it was a lot of work for them to see God. Once they were done, this is a little of what they had to do to be able to pray to God. The people first had to enter through a gate where they would present an offering or gift to God. So in return, they would be clean of anything bad in their heart. Then from there, they entered the court. And that is where most people had to stop. The only people who could get past this point were priests. The priest would keep walking to a little fountain that would allow them to wash their hands clean. There was a large veil, which is like a curtain wall that blocked off people from entering the room where the presence of God would be. The priest would pass through the first veil to see a lampstand that would give light to the room and a table of showbread. There was still more. Before they could be in God's presence, there was an altar of incense, which was a mixture of spices that would be burned. Lastly, after you had gone through all of that, there was another veil. And finally, the priest would make it into the presence of God and be able to pray and worship to the Lord. That would be so much work to be able to pray and worship God. But why don't we have to do that? Because when Jesus died on the cross, something amazing happened. Those veils that kept everyone out from seeing God, they ripped in half. Jesus was the ultimate gift to God that made us clean of any bad thing in our hearts. Those curtain-like walls were gone, and anyone could be free to enter God's presence and worship Him. Because of that, we can pray to God without all of those crazy other steps. Now, God hears us no matter where we are.
I can't imagine having to go through the gate, the court, a fountain, a veil, a table with bread, burn some stuff, go through another veil, and then get to pray. I am so thankful that all of this is wiped away and we get to pray freely because Jesus died on the cross and rose again.
That is so many steps. Our prayers must mean a lot to God since He sent His one and only Son, Jesus, to do that just so we could dwell with God freely.
Our prayers do mean a lot to God, and now that we know how God made a way for us to be closer to Him, next week we're going to learn why God cares about our prayer so much. What do prayers do? And how we can pray.
That's right, but before we leave, let's memorize with you, Mel.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Memorizing with Mel. Who's excited about our series verse on prayer? Me too. I'm so excited. In fact, our memory verse is about, you called it, prayer. Our memory verse comes from Philippians 4:6, which goes like this. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Now, before we stand up and do our memory verse together, I'm going to teach you the memory motions. There are 3 easy motions and they are very easy to learn. So the first one is don't. Why? Because we are not going to worry. Instead, what are we going to do? Pray. Prayer hands. My favorite thing is prayer hands. And what are we going to pray about? Everything. Why? Because it's everything. Awesome. Do you guys think you can handle that? I said, do you guys think you can handle that? Awesome. Well, let's stand up and do our memory verse. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Awesome job. Let's do it one more time. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Great job, everybody. I can't wait to see you next week.